In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Is it true what you reap, what you sow? If you fantasy, you know, you know. When I pray, got my name on the floor. To the high, even when I feel low. By the die, forever I hope. Even when it get crazy. Digging up, I just start being sober. Living every day faded. Think I got me enough out of treat, do whatever I tell her, whenever I say it. Cause I find out a piece of a player, and she give it to any player that's paying. I can dig it, but not for no man. Let's just slow down the money and crazy.
Good evening, fans, and welcome to Royal Grove Pavilion, home of your Seattle Pacific University Falcons. And it is time to honor our seniors. Let's hear it for the seniors. They're playing their final game inside Royal Grove Pavilion. Let's meet them one by one. A great crew right here. First of all, number 14, Trace Evans. Trace is joined by his father, Troy. Trace has appeared in 80 games for the Falcons and has made 50 starts in 3 seasons. He scored 762 points at SPU and eclipsed 1,000 career points over his time at Lake Region State, UMKC, and SPU. He's pulled down 403 rebounds, blocked 29 shots, and has dished out 133 assists with the Falcons. Trace is a 2-time GNAC All-Academic honoree and has earned College Sports Communications Academic All-District once from New South Wales, Australia, Lambton High School, Lake Region State, and the University of Missouri, Kansas City, as well as your Seattle Pacific University Falcons. Number 14, Trace Evans. Next up, number 15, Brian Caldera. Brian is joined by his grandmother, Janet, parents Sam and Tara, brothers Jonathan and Nick, and well as sister-in-law Emily and Pearl. A 2-year member of the Falcons, Brian has been described by Coach Fazio as the ultimate teammate and someone that is selfless and does whatever he can for the betterment of others. Brian earned GNAC All-Academic Honors this season from Spokane, Washington, University High School, and Bellevue College. Number 15, Brian Caldera. That's a big photo op right there. Our third and final senior to honor is number 23, Jacob Gray. Jacob is joined by his mother, Ruth, and brother, Marcus. Jacob, a 4-year member of the Falcons. Jacob has appeared in 9 games. Coach Fazio described Jacob as someone with high character and a strong work ethic. He added that Jacob has been one of the hardest workers on a consistent basis during his time with the Falcons. From Camas, Washington, a papermaker down there, and Camas High School, number 23, Jacob Gray. Fans, let's give one more great round of applause for this year's graduating seniors from the SPU men's basketball program. Number 14, Trace Evans. Number 15, Brian Caldera. And number 23, Jacob Gray. And let's get set for our matchup today between the Central Washington Wildcats and your Seattle Pacific University Falcons. First of all, we please ask that you rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle, Washington for SPU Men's Senior Day. The women will have their Senior Day coming up in a couple of weeks, but today the Senior Day for the men. This is a battle for first place in the GNAC. Central Washington coming in with a record of 10-3 in conference, 16-7 overall, and SPU, Seattle Pacific University, 10-4 in conference, 14-11 overall. Really did not get off to as good of a start in non-conference play, but they have really picked it up in GNAC play. And Brian Caldera has not played this year for SPU, but they are going to give him a start. It looks like today they just introduced him. He is one of the 3 seniors being honored here, Trace Evans and Jacob Gray, the others. Jacob Gray is not on the active roster this year, but Caldera has been active and has not gotten into a game. But it looks like they are going to start him today as, no, maybe not. There's he's just out there greeting the starters, so never mind. They have not posted the starters on the scoreboard. But let's talk about the matchup here. Central Washington coming off a loss at Montana State Billings on Thursday night. That allows this game to be a battle for first place because the Wildcats dropped their 3rd in conference play this year. They have not lost 2 in a row since their first 2 games of the season in early November. The Falcons have won 7 straight. They are looking to make it 8 in a row, and they have surged up the standings now in 2nd place as, Caldera is not going to start here. I believe if he does get into this game, he's going to come out with a mask. But the Falcons have won 7 in a row. They beat Northwest Nazarene to pass them for 2nd on Thursday night. And so the Falcons coming off, as I mentioned, 7 straight wins. The Wildcats have put a couple of 4-game win streaks together during conference play, and they lost on Thursday at Montana State Billings, who has been surging lately. Here's the opening tap, and we'll get you the starting lineups as the Wildcats win the tap, and it's Calvin Sisk making the start, his first start of the season. This has been a lineup for the Wildcats that really has been very consistent all year, but Calvin Sisk is getting his first start as a Wildcat this year. And Mitch Brizzi would normally be the starter. There is a shot and a bucket from Maverick Sanders, a sophomore out of Spokane, Washington. And Brizzi played on Thursday at Billings, and I don't believe he is here today. I don't see him on the Wildcats bench, so he may have been hurt in that game. He only played 22 minutes, so if he was injured, it was in the second half. He only played 22 minutes and was not in foul trouble in that game. Trace Evans scores over Sisk, and Evans has really refined that post game for SPU. And can get in there and score against pretty much anybody. Sisk is measuring at 7'2". Evans is at 6'9". There's a baseline jumper from Sanders again, and the Wildcats with 2 buckets from Maverick Sanders so far in this one. Here's Landek kicking it out, and Moriarty ends up with it, gets it in the post now to Evans. Evans goes around Sisk and reverses it up and in. And Evans made that one look easy with the step to the bucket and goes up underneath the bucket and scoops it off the glass for 2. Trace Evans with 4 and Maverick Sanders with 4. And now we get a whistle and a foul called here as Wildcats with the take to the basket. And Trace Evans commits the foul, and it will send Garrett Anderson to the free throw line. Quickly, the starting lineups: Jordan Clark out of Renton, Washington; Kevin Holden out of, and this is for Central Washington, Kevin Holden out of Apple Valley, California, as Anderson makes the first free throw. He's a junior out of Phoenix, Arizona. Maverick Sanders, a sophomore out of Spokane, Washington. Calvin Sisk, a junior from Buffalo, Minnesota, as the Wildcats coached by Brandon Renta in his 7th season. And both free throws go down for Garrett Anderson. And now a turnover And the Wildcats come back the other way. Sanders scoops one up off the glass too strong. Evans with the rebound, and the Falcons come back the other way, trailing by 2. Falcons are coached by second-year head coach Kefri Fazio. And Jackson Knapp with the ball right now. Here is Mason Landek. And he will get the shot up, and it rims out as he's able to play through some contact there and get that shot up. Now we get a traveling call against Kevin Holden. And so the Falcons will take it back. Again, down 6-4. And Brandon Renta trying to get some clarification. It looked like on the travel call is what he was asking about. As Falcons with possession here, down 2.5 minutes into the ball game. There's Landek and another floater off the mark. And now Landek comes up with a steal, and he is going to fend off the defender. Couldn't get the lay-in to go. Gets back to the bucket. Couldn't get that shot to go either, but he's going to draw a foul on Maverick Sanders. And so Landek with the miss, couple of misses, and gets the steal, gets to the bucket, and draws the foul. Couldn't get the first shot to go, but was able to get his own rebound. And Mason Landek will head to the free throw line. Landek is a redshirt junior out of Kashmere, Washington. Trace Evans is listed as a junior, but I think that has something to do with the COVID year. I think he would have another year of eligibility if he wanted it, as there is Sanders going over the bench to save that one in bounds for the Wildcats, as Landek goes 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. And the Wildcats with possession now. Garrett Anderson will kick it in the corner, and it's saved in bounds by Jordan Clark. Gets it out to Sanders, and Sanders with the step back over Jackson Knapp, and he puts it up and in from the baseline. As Sanders creating his own shot there. And he's got 6 to start this one. Central Washington with an 8-5 lead. Here is Evans to the bucket, gets around Sisk, but can't get the shot to go. And the Wildcats with the rebound. Evans is going to try to take advantage of Sisk, who's making his first start, and see if Sisk can be up to the task today to guard Evans in the post. There's a shot off the mark by Anderson, and Landek back the other way with the rebound. Falcons with Owen Moriarty, a junior out of Seattle, Washington, as this one is going to be an offensive foul, and we're going the other way. And that's Jackson Knapp committing the foul. And Central is going to sub in a couple of players here, but still trying to get through the... Okay, so double technicals here whistled against Mason Landek and Kevin Holden. And Holden comes to the bench as Eli Williams and Bradley Swilly both check in. Landek is still out there, and now Grant Coleman will come in, and he'll come get Trace Evans. Landek will stay out there. I believe they said double technicals, but no free throws being shot here. So I'm not sure if they did say double technicals, the public address announcer, but maybe on an offsetting technical, both teams picking up a technical, they may not shoot free throws. But either way, Central with a bucket there, and it's 10-5, as that was Garrett Anderson with the bucket. Here is Moriarty, and he goes down in the key and puts it up over Jordan Clark for the bucket, and Moriarty gets on the scoreboard. Moriarty averages 15 points per game for the Falcons to lead them. Falcons starting lineup as Central turns this one over, throws it out of bounds. We'll get through the Falcons starting lineup when we come back from the first timeout, media timeout here. 15:08 to go in the first half, and we'll be right back on the SBU webcast. Back inside Royal Burn Pavilion, 15:08 to go first half. Central with the lead, 10-7. As, again, this is a battle for first in the GNAC. Falcon starters, Owen Moriarty from Seattle, Jackson Knapp from Newcastle, Washington, Jonas Latour, redshirt sophomore from Poulsbo, Washington, and Mason Landek, a redshirt junior from Kashmir, Washington, Trace Evans, a junior from New South Wales, Australia. And now the Falcons have Henry Sandberg in the game and Grant Coleman as well. Sandberg from Spokane went to Gonzaga Prep, and Coleman from Savoy, Illinois. And Coleman hit the game winner on last Saturday, a week ago, at Western Washington as the Falcons erased a deficit in the final 5 seconds of the game. Coleman hit a three. And this will be a foul called on Jordan Clark. And Kefri Fazio is going to bring his four of his players over for a quick conference as Owen Moriarty goes to the free throw line. Moriarty has been nearly automatic, but nearly. He misses on his first free throw attempt there. Moriarty coming into this game, as I mentioned, averaging 15 points a game and 89% at the line, and gets the second one to go. So that brings the Falcons back within two at 10-8. And Central with possession. Jordan Anderson moving to his right, hands off to Swilly. And now here is Jordan Clark. He'll hand off now to Anderson. And now Swilly will turn around and shoot over Sandberg and puts it in. And Swilly with the baseline jumper there, the turnaround. And he's on the board for the first time this afternoon. 12-8. Wildcats with the lead. Here's Knapp in the post. Gets it out to Moriarty. Landek to Coleman, and now Sandberg is going to drive baseline. And a foul called there on Jordan Clark. Got a lot of ball, but a little bit of arm as well. And Sandberg will go to the free throw line here. Sandberg has started 15 games for the Falcons, but Falcons have kind of had a few changes in their lineup over the course of the season. Kevin Holden comes back in for the Wildcats as Sandberg knocks down the first free throw. And Sandberg knocks down the second as well. He's a freshman. And as I mentioned, got 15 starts on the season, but is coming off the bench and has for the last several games. As that's Eli Williams lost control of it for a second, but got it back, and now Wildcats with Maverick Sanders going up against Sandberg, and he will shoot over him and put it in. And another baseline jumper on the left side from Maverick Sanders. He's got 8 points in the ballgame. But the original starting lineup for the Falcons featured Mason Landek and Henry Sandberg, no Jonas Latour. Here is Jackson Knapp taking a three, and that one is off the front iron, no good. And the Wildcats back the other way. Sanders now going to kick it out. There's a point that Jonas Latour got into the lineup as Anderson is fouled by Coleman, and Anderson will go to the free throw line. And both Trace Evans and Jonas Latour will check in here in a moment after the first free throw is shot. Logan Kinlock gets the warm-up shirt off as well, and he'll come in for SPU as Anderson is short on the first free throw. So Latour, Evans, and Kinlock into the game for SPU, and now here comes Calvin Sisk back in for Central. He'll come get Maverick Sanders as Anderson back to the free throw line for a second attempt here. And that one misses as well, and Moriarty with the rebound. Moriarty's been a fixture in the lineup, the starting lineup, and has been consistent all year. But originally they had Landek in the starting lineup, then he was benched for a few games for Latour. Evans goes to the bucket and scoops it up and in, and Trace Evans with 6 points in the ball game, and the Falcons within 2. Here is Sisk going to work against Evans in the post and kicks it out to Williams. Eli Williams gets into the lane and goes around Moriarty. Couldn't get the shot to go. And Evans the rebound. Of course, now Landek and Latour both in the starting lineup, and Sandberg is not. Here is Landek taking a three, and that one is all net. And the Falcons take the lead, 15-14. Landek now with 4 points in the ball game. Went 1 of 2 at the free throw line earlier, and hits his first three-point attempt. As this one high off the glass by Bradley Swilly, and he couldn't get it to go as it rims out. And the Falcons now with a 1 point lead and possession under 12 minutes to play here in the first half. Get another timeout at the next dead ball, which is right now. 11:46 to play in the first half. The Falcons with a 1 point lead now, 15-14. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Rome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons now with their first lead of the ball game at 15-14. Wildcats have led by as many as 5, and that was when they had a 10-5 lead. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast, and the stands filling up here as Central Washington located maybe 110 miles to the east. Not a long drive, so plenty of fans from both teams in the building here on the senior day for the Falcons. Falcons with just 3 seniors, as Trace Evans is one of them, and he puts that one up over Sisk, and it's a little too strong off the back iron. Maverick Sanders will come back the other way for the Wildcats. But this is, as I mentioned, senior day for the Falcons. Trace Evans, Brian Caldera, who has not played at all this year, and Jacob Gray, who has not played at all this year either. Brian Caldera has not played at all for the Falcons in 2 years here with the program. But he is active, and I was mentioning at the top that if he does check in, he has been wearing a mask when he's been warming up. So we'll probably see that if he does get into this game, which I would anticipate. I don't know why they wouldn't get him in unless the his face is not going to allow him to play. Apparently, he has an injury to his face. But a three there from Kevin Holden, and the Wildcats go back in front. Here is Evans getting into the lane and leaves that one short. And the Wildcats with the rebound back the other way. Here's Holden going around Landeck. And now a three on the way, and that one off the mark from Eli Williams. The rebound to Sanders, though, and Maverick Sanders puts it back up and in. He's already got 10 in the ballgame. And the Wildcats now a 4-point lead over SPU. SPU at 10-4 in conference play, and Central Washington at 10-3. And both teams trying to pick up win number 11 as that one taken away from Trace Evans. Here's Sanders back the other way. And a three on the way now from Kevin Holden. He had time to set his feet, but missed the shot. Holden is a great three-point shooter, as is Jordan Clark for the Wildcats. Landeck gets it to Latour, and now it's stolen away by Holden. And he gets it ahead to Swilly. Goes into Knapp, and Knapp went straight up. And Sisk is able to pull down the rebound and throw it down, as that one over Evans. And Calvin Sisk, with his first 2 points of the ball game, gets a rise out of the Wildcats bench. And the Wildcats now on a 7-0 run. Here is Jackson Knapp taking a three, and he knocks that one down from the top of the key. Gets the Falcons back within 3 at 21-18. This is Eli Williams being guarded by Kinlock, and now Sisk backing down into the key, kicks it out to Williams. Holden with it now. And Landeck defending him. Holden goes around him. And now kind of a circus shot there as he was trying to get around Trace Evans and couldn't do it. Got the shot up, but that one didn't have a chance as he was underneath the basket. Here's Evans. Kicks it to Kinlock. And now Knapp on the right baseline, being guarded by Swilly. Knapp goes to work in the post, puts it up, couldn't get it to go. Swilly with the rebound. Good post move there by Knapp, but he couldn't get the shot to go. Here's Holden, gets it to Swilly. And Swilly takes it to the bucket. Couldn't get the shot to go, and the rebound knocked out of bounds by the Falcons. Central will keep it. Jordan Clark back in. Garrett Anderson back in, and Jamari Harris, freshman from Kent, Washington, went to Garfield High School here in Seattle, and he checks in for Central. As the Falcons now, Grant Coleman back in there, as we get a foul called here on Jonas Latour. Moriarty, I believe, was the other one that just checked back in. The foul picked up here by Latour, and that's his first. Falcons have committed 5 team fouls. Sanders going to work on Knapp, and Knapp may have gotten a piece of that. It comes down out of bounds, and the Falcons will have possession. I don't know if Knapp got a piece of it or if it just came up short as Sanders was trying to get it up over Knapp. And Knapp with the defense there, though, got possession back for the Falcons. As that one knocked into the backcourt, but it was touched by the Wildcats there. So Knapp now backing down. And now here's Latour from the corner for a three. That one off the mark. And the rebound by Jamari Harris. And the Wildcats will take it the other way with a 3-point lead. This one's stolen away. Coleman ends up with it for the Falcons. And now Landeck is going to pull up in transition and take a three, and he's going to make a three. And the game is tied at 21 apiece. And a timeout called by Brandon Renta here with 7:40 to go. Is going to be a media timeout at the next dead ball, but Brandon Renta wants to take a timeout right now and talk things over with his squad. They were on a 7-0 run. Now the Falcons respond with a 6-0 run to tie it back up at 21 apiece. We will step aside on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching SPU basketball. back inside Royal Brown Pavilion. 7:40 to play first half. As the Wildcats shooting 45% from the floor. The Falcons 44%. Falcons are 3 out of 5 from deep. 4 out of 6 at the free throw line. The Wildcats just 1 out of 4 from deep and 2 for 4 at the line. As they have possession, trying to retake the lead. Maverick Sanders is having a good game so far, but he can't get that shot to go. Sanders with 10 points in the ball game to lead all scorers. As he's got 10 for Central, and Mason Landak leads the Falcons with 7. Here's Knapp, and he gets into the paint and kicks it out. Moriarty's going to drive the lane. He's between 2 defenders, and he's able to get the shot up. Couldn't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Couldn't get that one to go either. And Sanders with the rebound for Central. And Moriarty from in close typically will get one of those 2 opportunities to fall, but couldn't do it on that possession. Here's Jordan Clark driving on Moriarty, and he'll kick it in the corner. This is a 3 on the way, and that is Noah Pepper in the game now. And it's off the mark, but the Wildcats with the offensive board. Here is Jordan Clark taking a 3, and that one off the mark. Jordan Clark, 50% from three-point range as Landak pulls up and misses. And the Wildcats back the other way, still tied at 21 here. As Harris gets it out to Anderson, and now Clark with it. In the post now for Sanders, and Landak is on him, and Sanders goes up over him and puts it in. And Falcons, Coleman, their biggest player out there, but Sanders ended up on Landak, and Sanders with a height advantage. And he's 6'6", Landak listed at 6'2". Here is Knapp. And Knapp can't get the shot to go. The Wildcats with the rebound and driving the other way. Sanders for Noah Pepper underneath, and he couldn't get the shot to go. And the Falcons with the rebound, rather, coming back the other way. Falcons have an opportunity to retie the game here or take the lead. As Moriarty goes to work in the paint, gets the shot up and puts it in and goes to the line. Moriarty with the bucket in close and draws the foul. As that one is going to go on Jamari Harris, and Owen Moriarty will head to the free throw line with the opportunity to give the Falcons the lead again. Coming back in, Eli Williams for Central, and Moriarty 1 for 2 from the stripe so far in this one. And has the opportunity here, though, and puts that one in all net. The opportunity to give the Falcons the lead back, and that's exactly what just happened there. Moriarty now with 6 points in the ballgame. 24-23, SPU in front. A battle for first place in the GNAC. And we have women's basketball between these two schools coming up later at 4:15. This is Garrett Anderson going to take a 3, and that one too strong. Rebound to SPU. They come the other way with under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Kefri Fazio in his second year as the head coach of the Falcons. And there's Moriarty getting to the bucket and scoops it up and in. And it's now 26-23 SPU with the lead. Williams gets it across midcourt for Central. But the Falcons have really surged lately under Fazio. And this one out of bounds. Last touch by Williams. Falcons will take it back. Kevin Holden will come back in, as will Bradley Swilly. Taking a look at the Central's got some very good shooters. Holden is 49% from the floor and 46% from 3. 82% at the line, and then Jordan Clark is 50% coming into the game. He missed a 3 earlier from 3, and Clark is 48% from the floor. And here's Landak taking a 3, and that one off the mark, and it'll go out of bounds. Central will take it back. Jordan Clark, 94% from the free throw line. Trace Evans will come back in here for SPU, and Calvin Sisk for Central. That may have been Sisk going in as a response to Trace Evans coming in. Not sure if that was how that worked out. But Central with possession, down 3. And under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Sisk will get it to Sanders. Knapp on him. And now the ball coming to Eli Williams. He goes up over Moriarty. And Moriarty with the defense there. The shot missed and the rebound to Jackson Knapp. Falcons with a 3-point lead as Mason Landek brings it across midcourt. Evans will hand back to Landek. And now the give and go there. Evans kicks it out now to Knapp, and Knapp knocks down another 3. That is not his strong suit. Jackson Knapp, a lot of his buckets come in close to the bucket. He has been able to shoot the 3 though, and there is Kevin Holden knocking down a long 2 from the baseline from the left corner. Falcons had a 6-point lead. That was their largest of the game, and now it is down to 4. With under 3 minutes to go now here in the first half. Landek will pull up and shoot over Holden. That one's too strong. And the Wildcats back the other way. Sanders gets it to Sisk at the bucket, and Sisk lays it up and in. Good assist there from Maverick Sanders. And the lead trimmed to 2 now for the Falcons. 2.5 to play in the first half. Evans for Moriarty, thought about it. Gets it to Evans in the post. He'll go around Sisk, and Sisk came over to block the shot, but they're going to get him for a foul as well. And this will actually take us to the under 4 media timeout. Sisk picks up his first foul. Trace Evans will be at the free throw line when we come back. 29-27, your score. Falcons in front. We'll be right back on the SB webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Good ball game here so far in the first half, as both teams have had leads. Neither one has led by more than 6. Falcons led by 6 a moment ago, and they lead now by 2. But Trace Evans is going to the free throw line here. Evans coming into the game, averaging 12.6 points a game and over 5 rebounds a game as well. Just 50% at the free throw line. So he's, we could call him White Shaquille O'Neal. But he misses on the first free throw. Evans has been great near the bucket. And we've seen him go for 6 points so far today in this one. And he gets the second free throw to rattle in. And he's now up to 7 points in the ball game. 30-27. Your score. I'm going to say Shaquille O'Neal is a lot better player, but that's beside the point here. This is Eli Williams getting it to Sisk on top, and Landek comes over and steals the pass. And Landek trying to go deep for Knapp, and a little too deep there as Knapp had to try to save it in bounds and couldn't do it. And so the Wildcats will take it back. Landek was trying to go to his teammate, but led him a little too far. As here is Williams. Now Sisk with it. And now Williams trying to get it to Sisk and does. He'll go up against Evans. He shoots over him and he comes up short, and Evans with the rebound. Minute 35 to play first half. Falcons by 3. Pretty good crowd on hand this afternoon on senior day for SPU. Here's Latour taking a quick 3, and that one off the mark. Latour with that quick release. He is pretty accurate from downtown, but has missed on a couple here today. And Latour still has not scored in this game. He will get on fire on occasion. As here's Swilly, and Swilly scoops it up and in off the glass and draws the foul on Latour. And the Wildcats now with an opportunity to tie the game at the free throw line. Swilly has only played in 12 games, missed a handful of games at the beginning of the year, but he has been kind of the sixth man or one of the primary bench players for the Wildcats, and he knocks in the free throw. Swilly is only 46%. I'm sorry, I'm looking at his 3-point. 46% is great from downtown. 75% at the free throw line, just 3 out of 4 on the season. So that's just his 5th free throw that he's attempted this year, and he gets it to go. And we're tied at 30. As Landek gets it in the post, and Evans will get around Sisk, and now Holden will come over and knock it away, and now we get a foul called on Evans. And the Wildcats will take it back with 44.5 left on the clock. And this is going to be the 7th team foul on SPU, so it's going to send Kevin Holden to the free throw line. And Holden is an excellent free throw shooter for the Wildcats, 82%. And he gets the front end of the 1-and-1 to put the Wildcats back in front, 31-30. Holden now with 6 points. And trying to pick up a 7th here at the line. And gets that one to rattle home as well. Timeout called by SPU. They're down 2 with 44.5 left in the first half. Back and forth game here as both teams have held the lead at different points here in this first half. This will be a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. At this point, the Wildcats 42% from the floor, the Falcons 39%. And they're 50% from downtown, 4 out of 8. Both teams getting to the free throw line. The Wildcats 5 out of 7, the Falcons 6 out of 9, and the Wildcats hold the edge on the glass 20-16. Looking at turnovers, each team has turned the ball over 6 times. Each team only has 4 points off turnovers. As Maverick Sanders has 12 points and 8 rebounds already for Central. And Owen Moriarty leads the Falcons with 8 points and 4 rebounds. Landek and Evans with 7 points apiece. And Knapp with 6. And Knapp has had 2 threes, and that's been it for him scoring-wise. And he has the ball now. Backing down on Sanders. Holden collapses. And it's out of bounds off of Knapp. As Holden came over to make that play. And his last touch by Jackson Knapp. Wildcats will get it back with 31.1 left. And this will be a scenario, I believe, where they're going to try to dribble out as much of the rest of the clock as possible. Get a shot late in the shot clock, as Holden will come to the top to get it from Eli Williams. And Holden with Moriarty on him. Holden drives to his left, kicks it to Pepper in the corner for a 3, and that one well off the mark. And 3 seconds. Here is Knapp, gets it to Moriarty, and he had a 3 at the buzzer, had a good look at it, but couldn't get it to go. And the Wildcats will take a 2-point lead into the locker room at halftime, 32-30. Really good first half of basketball, entertaining game, and hopefully the second half will be just as entertaining and come down hopefully to the wire. That would be an exciting way to send the Falcons off on Senior Day. They got 3 more coming up on the road over the next 2 weeks. But this is, again, a battle for first place in the GNAC. We're going to step aside here on the SB webcast for about 9.5 minutes, and we will, when we come back, we'll recap the first half for you. We will take a look around the GNAC. We're the first game going in the GNAC today, but we can kind of give you some ideas to where other teams are sitting in the standings. We'll be back on the SB webcast in a little while with more from halftime coming up. 32-30 Central.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Brown Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. We are at halftime, and Central Washington holds a 2-point lead over Seattle Pacific, 32-30. As this has been a back-and-forth ball game. Each team has had a lead of 6 at one point or another, and that has been the largest lead for both teams. The Wildcats have led for more of the first half than the Falcons have. But there have been 5 ties and 4 lead changes in this game. And at halftime, the Wildcats shooting 41% from the floor, the Falcons at 37%. Wildcats are just 1 of 8 from downtown. The Falcons are 4 out of 9. And at the free throw line, the Falcons are 6 out of 9. The Wildcats are 5 out of 7. That comes out to 67% for the Falcons and 71% for the Wildcats. Wildcats hold the edge on the glass 20-17, and each team has turned the ball over 7 times. Neither team has really done much to take advantage of the turnovers. The Falcons with 5 points off turnovers, the Wildcats with 4. Individually, the Falcons have been able to hold Jordan Clark off the scoreboard. Maverick Sanders, with 12 points and 8 rebounds. He's been the best player, or had the best first half, I should say, for the Wildcats. 7 points from Kevin Holden, and he is 2 out of 4 from the floor. Holden is 1 out of 2 from deep and 2 out of 2 at the free throw line. Sanders is 6 out of 10 from the floor overall, and has the 12 points and the 8 rebounds. As Calvin Sisk with 4 rebounds as well, 4 points for him. He got the start today, and the Wildcats without Mitch Brizzy for the first time this year. The Falcons get 8 points from Owen Moriarty, 4 rebounds and an assist. They get 7 points apiece from Mason Landek and Trace Evans. Both also have 3 rebounds. Evans has 2 assists and Landek doesn't have any. 6 points and 4 rebounds for Jackson Knapp. This game, as we have mentioned a few times, is a battle for first place in the conference. And this is the final game at Royal Brown Pavilion for SPU. The GNAC tournament will be held at St. Martin's in Lacey. And St. Martin's has been slipping a bit. The Falcons beat them here at home 2 weeks ago on February 1st. And that really that was the 4th win in a row for the Falcons. They have now won 7 straight. But really it was that St. Martin's win that when the win over St. Martin's kind of cemented this Falcons team as, okay, they're legit now. As they kind of started off in their non-conference portion of the schedule, not great. They are now at 14-11 on the season, 10-4 in conference, and Central Washington 16-7 overall, 10-3 in conference play. Those are your top 2. Central Washington in first, but Seattle Pacific has an opportunity to overtake them here. Northwest Nazarene is just a game back of Central Washington and a half game back of Seattle Pacific. Seattle Pacific vaulted them in the standings on Thursday with a win over them. And Northwest Nazarene in 3rd place at 9-4. St. Martin's is in 4th at 8-5. And then you have Western Washington and Montana State University Billings, both 8-6. And MSU Billings in particular has been playing good ball lately. They just beat this Central Washington team in Billings on Thursday night. Really, that's probably going to be your GNAC tournament, those 6 teams. Fairbanks, Alaska Fairbanks still with a chance. They're going to take on Alaska Anchorage here in a little bit. And Anchorage is still mathematically alive, and so is Simon Fraser. Western Oregon has been mathematically eliminated. The upcoming schedule for this afternoon and evening, Anchorage is at Fairbanks. The Alaska schools had Thursday off, and they're playing today. Simon Fraser will be at Western Oregon at 4:15. Western Washington will be at St. Martin's, and that's going to be a test for St. Martin's. And that'll be at 5:15, and then Northwest Nazarene will be at Montana State Billings at 7:30 Mountain Time, which is, of course, 6:30 here in the Pacific Time Zone. Getting ready for the second half, and they stopped the clock on the scoreboard at 6.6. And I am not entirely sure why, but we'll get the second half going here shortly. Presumably, as maybe having a discussion with, no, they didn't. One official was saying something to the scorers table, but yeah, the clock was running, and it got most of the way down to 0, and they stopped it at 6.6, which we'll see if there is any reason for that. Second half coming up here, as Falcons have won 7 straight, and they have wins along that. And 5 out of those 7 have been at home, but along that 7-game win streak. Wins against the Alaska schools, then Western Oregon and St. Martin's. Then they went up to Simon Fraser and Western Washington, won both of those. The Western Washington win was on a 5 seconds left, a 3 from Grant Coleman to put them in front. And then beat Northwest Nazarene by 10 here at home on Thursday. That was the final score. Is kind of not an indicator of how close that ball game was, as that was very close ball game, but ended up with a 10-point win for SPU. I am not sure what the reason for the delay is here, and I'm not at the scorers table. I can't hear what is being said down there. I'm off to the right on your screen, up above the Central Washington bench, on that end of the court. But for some reason or another, and I don't know if it's a clock issue. Now, okay, we are ready to go, and they now do run the rest of the clock. So, second half action getting ready to get underway here. As 20 minutes of basketball coming up here, and this is going to determine, for the moment, who will take first place in the GNAC into the weekend, or into next week, I should say. As still 2 more weeks to go. Falcons will have all the rest of their games on the road. The Wildcats will be back home for 2 next week, and then they will close out with 2 on the road. As Trace Evans, backing down on Calvin Sisk, gets it back out to Jackson Knapp. And Knapp is going to drive and go around Sanders, but Sisk comes over and blocks the shot out of bounds. Falcons will keep it with 11 on the shot clock. And Sisk at 7-2 with the long arms, having none of that, as Knapp did get around Sanders, but then Sisk, plenty of reach to swat that one away. 8 on the shot clock. Evans in the post, gets it to Landek. Landek going to pull up for a baseline jumper, and he puts it in. And Mason Landek ties the score at 32 apiece. Landek now with 9 points to lead the way for the Falcons. They do not have anybody in double figures yet. Wildcats do. Maverick Sanders with 12. Here is a blocked shot on Garrett Anderson, as Evans got a piece of it. Got some of Anderson as well and commits the foul. And that'll be the 3rd foul on Trace Evans here early on in the second half. So may need to watch him. He's having a discussion with his head coach, Kefri Fazio, on the other end of the court about his defense there on that play. He was trying not to pick up the foul, but they do call him for the foul. Garrett Anderson to the free throw line. Knocks down the first and the second. And Anderson is someone that can get going, as he averages 14.4 points per game, and he's an 84% free throw shooter as well. Over 50% from the floor, but has not had a huge impact on this game so far. Evans in the post, kicks it out to Landek, now gets it back, and now hooks it up over Sisk. And this one is last touched by the Falcons as Evans misses on the shot. Evans coming into the game shooting 66% from the floor, and the only player better than that, Mitch Brizzy, who is not playing today. They're 1-2 in field goal percentage, as Brizzy is at 68%. But Evans has missed a few today, has had, a lot of shots as Sanders comes up short on that one, and Jackson Knapp pulls down the rebound. Trace Evans so far in this one, 3 out of 7 from the floor, so under his season percentage. Here's Knapp taking a 3, and Jackson Knapp knocks in another 3. And again, not really something that you see a lot out of him, as Jackson Knapp coming into this game was just 8 out of 34 from downtown, 24%, but is now has 3 threes in this one, and the Falcons come away with possession here. They have the lead at 35-34, as Knapp just gave them the lead back with that 3. This one knocked out of bounds by Holden, and the Falcons will keep it. Just a little under 18 minutes to go in this one. And it'll be Landek to inbound from in front of the Falcons bench. Mason Landek is someone who has improved by leaps and bounds, at least this year. He's a transfer from Lemoyne College in New York. As this one rims out, and the Wildcats with the rebound back the other way, an opportunity to retake the lead. Here's Sanders. He'll kick it out to Anderson. But I think as Sisk, looking for a foul there, didn't get it and missed the shot, and the Falcons back the other way. Landek was really trying to force the issue too much at the beginning of the season, and has really kind of settled down, and he still plays with an edge, but is not trying to take over the game 40 minutes per game like he was. It kind of seemed like that's what he was trying to do at the beginning of the year. But Kefri Fazio has been able to rely more and more on him as the season has progressed, and now he has the ball. Now Knapp gets it and gets it right back to Landek. Evans will set a screen. Landek will kick it back out to Knapp. 7 on the shot clock. Knapp feeds it in the post to Evans. Evans goes up over Sisk and puts it in. And the Falcons now a 3-point lead, 37-34. Mentioned it a few times. First place in the GNAC is on the line here. Here's Jordan Clark. Gets it in the post for Sisk. He hooks it up over Evans, and that one off the mark. And the Falcons with the rebound. Landek will walk it up the floor. Falcons lead by 3, 16:30 to play. Here's Moriarty for Landek. He'll probe the left side. Kick it out to Moriarty for a 3 on the way, and it's good. Owen Moriarty puts in the 3, and he has 11 points now in the ball game for SPU, and the Falcons back out to a 6-point lead, their largest of the game. Each team, their largest lead of the game has been 6 points. Here's Sisk. Gets it to Maverick Sanders. And now Anderson. He'll get it to Holden. Holden feeding it to Sisk. And Sisk gets underneath and lays it up and in from it's a reverse lay-in. As he got underneath and was able to get it over Evans for the bucket there. And so Sisk now with 6 points for the Wildcats. We get a whistle, and we're going the other way. Foul called on Latour away from the ball. And that's his 3rd. So Trace Evans has 3, and Jonas Latour now has 3 for the Falcons. So something to watch for those 2 players They lead, the Falcons do, 40-36 with 15:34 to play, and we are at the first media timeout of the second half. And we will step aside on the SPU webcast, and we'll be back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Burma Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast as Central Washington with possession here. As they get this one Holden to Sisk, and Grant Coleman comes over and gets a hold of it and ties it up. It'll be a held ball here. And Falcons now with Henry Sandberg and Grant Coleman on the floor. And now the Wildcats sub in Swilly. His floor wiped up here underneath the basket. And now we're ready for play here. The Wildcats have it with 14 on the shot clock. Down by 4. Falcons have outscored the Wildcats to this point in the second half, 10-4. They've hit a couple of threes, and they've evened up the rebounding battle at 22 apiece. Here is Holden, and he gets the shot up. Landek commits the foul. Landek and Holden picked up double technicals in the first half, and we saw double flagrants picked up here Thursday night by Landek and I'm trying to remember who it was for Northwest Nazarene, but there were 2 free throws shot by each team after that. But double technicals, apparently no free throws. There would be free throws if it's just a technical one way or the other. As Holden splits a pair at the free throw line there and gets the Wildcats back to within 3. Sandberg with it now in the front court for the Falcons. And he hands off to Landek. Landek out on the right wing. Gets it to Knapp. And now Coleman in the post. Coleman kicks it back out to Knapp. Knapp going to drive and was trying to get it back to Coleman, but Holden comes away with the steal. And here come the Wildcats now, down 3. Jordan Clark will hand off to Garrett Anderson. Anderson going around Knapp, kicks it to Holden, and now back out to Clark. Clark driving, and he will turn around and shoot over Coleman, and that one off the mark. And the rebound to Knapp. Gets it to Landek, and he'll move it into the front court. He'll drop it off for Knapp. Knapp probing the left side. Sanders on him. And now Falcons work it around the perimeter. Sandberg to Coleman. Back to Moriarty. Here's Knapp. Thought about it. Decides to drive instead, and he's going to draw the foul on Sanders. 14:07 ball game, and Sanders picks up his 3rd foul. Sanders came out hot for the Wildcats early on and had 12 points at halftime. Is still at 12. And Jackson Knapp getting to the free throw line here. Knapp with 9 points, all on threes, which is rare for him. He only had 8 made threes coming into the ball game, as Eli Williams will come in for Kevin Holden, and now Jamari Harris will come back in as well, and he'll come get Maverick Sanders. Knapp knocking down the free throw to get to 10 points, and he will have another one coming up here, as he is a 69% free throw shooter, and he misses the second one there. Knapp, the leading rebounder in the GNAC at 9.5 rebounds a game, and he's averaging 11.6 points per game as well. Falcons actually have 5 players averaging in double figures. As here is Swilly, and he'll pick up the foul on Sandberg. Got the shot up and couldn't get it to go, but is able to draw the foul on Henry Sandberg. And Bradley Swilly, sophomore out of Tacoma, Washington, not too far down the road here, gets the free throw to go. And he's now got 6 points in the ball game. 41-38 is your score, as Swilly knocks down both free throws. And coming into this game, he was only 3 out of 4 on the season at the free throw line, but he has made 3 free throws in this one for Central Washington, doubling his season output at the free throw line. Here's Knapp getting into the post and reverses it up and in. Got around Garrett Anderson, and Knapp, with the good footwork, gets to the other side of the bucket and lays it up and in. He's got 12 points in the ballgame now. Here's Swilly. Falcons lead by 4. Anderson trying to go around Coleman. He turns around, puts up the shot over him, and that one off the mark. Rebound, Jackson Knapp. Here come the Falcons. Landeck drops it off for Knapp. Coming across midcourt. And he's backing down on Clark and gets to the bucket and lays it up and in. Kind of a mismatch there with Jordan Clark on Jackson Knapp, and he's pumped. It is Knapp now with 14 points in the ball game, and the Falcons lead by 6. Timeout called by Central Washington. 12:53 to play. Falcons trying to surge ahead of the Wildcats in the GNAC standings with a win here today. Still plenty of time to go. 12:53. We will step aside on the SPU webcast. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons lead it by 6 over Central Washington. The last loss for the Falcons was actually at Northwest Nazarene on January 18th, but right before that they lost to Central Washington by 21 points in Ellensburg. Since the Northwest Nazarene loss, they have ripped off 7 wins in a row, and they are in position to take over first in the conference with a win here today. Final home game, though, they will be on the road for the final 3. Both the Alaska schools and then Montana State Billings the final Saturday in the season. Here is Garrett Anderson, puts it up over Knapp and puts it in off the glass. And the Wildcats back within 4. Mason Landeck into the front court with 12:30 to play in the ballgame. Sandberg to Coleman. And now Moriarty kicks it to Knapp. Hands off to Landeck. Knapp just inside the 3-point line. Going to work on Sanders. And Holden comes over. Now Sandberg is going to get a three from the corner, and Henry Sandberg drills the three. And for Sandberg, 5 points now for him in the ball game. And a big three there to put the Falcons up by 7. That is now their largest lead of the game, 48-41. Holden going to work on Sandberg. And gets past him into the key and couldn't get out from underneath the basket. He was trying to go for the reverse lay-in there. And the Falcons with the defense. Now here's Coleman from the left corner, and that one comes up short. He's able to get his own rebound, though. And he'll kick it out to Sandberg. He's got another three on the way, and that one off the mark as well. Rebound to Swilly. And the Wildcats back the other way. Here's Swilly taking a three over Coleman. That one rims out. Rebound to Knapp. 48-41 Falcons as we tick down toward the 11-minute mark in this game. Knapp probing the left side. Sanders on him. Knapp backs into the paint. Knapp puts the jump hook over. Sanders puts it in. And Jackson Knapp with 16 points. Having a strong second half here. 50-41. Falcons by 9. Under 11 to play. Kevin Holden with the ball. Being guarded by Landek. Here's Sanders. Gets it back to Holden. And now Holden drives the lane, kicks it to Sanders. Sanders puts it up and in. Got in between a couple of defenders and had an easy lay-in there. And Sanders, with his first points of the second half, now has 14 for the ball game. 10:30 to go. Jackson Knapp with possession on the left side. Kind of maybe has played a little bit of a point forward role. There is Coleman getting blocked by Anderson, and the Wildcats back the other way. Big block shot there. And the Wildcats now have an opportunity to get back within 5. Holden misses the shot, though. And we get a whistle on the rebound. That's a foul on Owen Moriarty. Just his first. And this is going to take us to a timeout on the floor. 10:08 to play here from Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. Falcons by 7. 50-43, and we'll be back in just a moment on the SP webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons lead by 7, 10:08 to play. Falcons are now 44% from the floor, and the Wildcats 36%. As the Falcons 7 out of 14 from deep, and the Wildcats just 1 out of 9. They have not been able to get the 3-ball going this afternoon. Falcons 7 of 11 at the free throw line, and the Wildcats 10 out of 13. Sanders backing down and shoots over Henry Sandberg and puts it in. And Maverick Sanders now with 16 points in the ball game. And the Wildcats back within 5 as we tick down under 10 minutes to play here from Royal Brawl. Evans will back down on Sisk. Evans kicks it out to Moriarty. Back in the post to Evans. Evans goes up over Sisk and puts it in. Evans was patient there and was able to go to work on Calvin Sisk and put that one up and in. As they give the points to Moriarty on the scoreboard, but that was Evans. And Evans now with 11. As that one off the mark by Sanders, and the Falcons with the rebound. leading by 7. Here's Mason Landeck. Kicks it to Sandberg, and now Evans in the post again with Sisk on him. Out to Landeck. Landeck thought about it, drives inside a little bit instead, and pulls up and misses the shot. And here is Holden back the other way. Maverick Sanders going around Henry Sandberg and can't get that one to go. Latour with the rebound for the Falcons. 8:45 to play. And again, the Falcons by 7. Here's Landeck. Gets it to Moriarty on the left wing. Moriarty kicks it out to Evans. And now back to Moriarty. Moriarty probes the left side. And this one thrown away. Wildcats take it back the other way. And Anderson is fouled. Anderson throws it down, but the foul whistled before he went up for the dunk there. Jonas Latour commits his 4th foul, and he will have a seat on the bench now as Jackson Knapp will come back in. Maverick Sanders goes to the bench for the Wildcats as well. As Swilly just checked back in for Central Washington. Ticking down toward 8 minutes to go. 7-point lead for SPU. Wildcats with the ball, trying to cut the lead down a little bit here. Clark for Holden. He's going to take a 3, and that one off the mark. Knapp didn't have his feet set underneath him and couldn't get to the rebound there, and Anderson does and puts it up and in. Garrett Anderson now with 10 points in the ballgame. Looked like Knapp had that one in his sights and maybe tripped a little bit. But now a nice pass from Evans to Landeck coming down the lane. He can't get the shot to go, but he is able to draw the foul. And this one is going to go on Kevin Holden. That'll be his 2nd foul. And just the 3rd team foul on the Wildcats here in the second half. The Falcons have committed 6 team fouls, and they lead, though, by 5 with 7:43 to go. Another timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SB webcast. Falcons lead it by 5, 52-47. As Central Washington has yet to turn the ball over here in the second half. Falcons have turned it over 3 times in the half, 10 times in the game, and Central Washington has turned it over 7 times in the ball game. But the Falcons have outshot the Wildcats here in the second half. Mason Landeck knocks in the first free throw, and Falcons are 7 out of 14 from downtown. The Wildcats just 1 out of 10. As Landeck knocks in both free throws, and that gets him to 11 points on the day. And gets the Falcons back out to a 7-point lead. Here's Holden. And Holden probes the left side. Kicks it back out to Anderson. Anderson now driving and puts it up over Coleman, and that one rims in for Garrett Anderson. And Anderson now with 12 in the ball game, and has had a good second half in particular. This one knocked away by Holden. It's out of bounds, and last touch by Evans. It's going Central Washington's way as a collision into the bench there, into the scorers table, I should say, actually. As everybody's all right. but the Wildcats take the ball back, down 5, with coming up on 7 minutes to play here. As Clark puts up the shot in the lane, couldn't get it to go, and Evans wrestles the rebound away from Sisk, and the Falcons will take it back, up 5, under 7 minutes to play. This one a tight ball game all the way. Falcons had a lead of 9 a moment ago. Neither team has led by double digits in this game. Here's Evans backing down, kicks it out to Landek. Now Landek re-enters into the post for Evans. Back out to Landek. Landek drives around Anderson, puts it up and in as Mason Landek got around Garrett Anderson there and got all the way to the glass and gives the Falcons the lead, 56-49. 13 points for Mason Landek. Here is Swilly driving the lane and lays it up and in for Central. They get back to within 5. And Swilly now with 9 points. Bradley Swilly for the Wildcats. Landek across midcourt, and he wants a timeout. And not a bad time to take a timeout there, as he was kind of up against the sideline, and Holden was on him. Kevin Holden has been a defensive stalwart in this one, and the score now at 56-51, 6:08 to play in the ball game, and we will step aside again here on the SP Webcast. We'll be right back.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion for the final 6:08. I'm sure we'll take a couple of breaks, but we're getting down to it here, as one of these teams will take first place in the conference into the weekend, or into next week, I should say. We're in the weekend, but these teams will both play again on Thursday. Central at home, as Landek loses that one. And I think maybe Holden got a piece of it. And now Anderson going to take a 3 from the left wing, and that one rainbows in. And the Wildcats back within 2. Falcons led by as many as 9 not too long ago, but the Wildcats have surged back to within 2 points of the lead here. Here's Jackson Knapp backing down on Maverick Sanders. Holden gets a hand on that one. And Knapp, though, will collect it. Now Landek in the post for Evans. Evans kicks it back out. Landek, a 3 on the way, and that one well off the mark. The rebound picked up by Knapp, and now Evans with it. And we get a whistle, and I think a timeout was called by Kefri Fazio from the Seattle Pacific bench, as the Falcons, with just a 2-point edge now and 5:12 to go, they were able to maintain that possession after the missed 3 by Landek. And a little bit of a battle for the ball there. Evans came away with it. But Fazio gets the timeout from the bench. Falcons down to just 1 timeout remaining. And so that may prove critical later in this ball game. Wildcats have 2 timeouts left, and I'm just reading what's on the scoreboard, so I would guess that those timeouts left would be accurate, though. As here's Evans to Moriarty. now Evans will feed it through to Latour, and Latour to the bucket, lays it up and in. That's the first time Jonas Latour has scored today. He missed a couple of threes in the first half, and Jonas Latour on the scoreboard now. A big time in this ball game. 58-54, here's Garrett Anderson for three, and that one is in as well. Anderson with a couple of threes. He's got 18 points now on the day, as he is having himself a whale of a second half. The Wildcats back within one. Moriarty to Knapp, and now Landek with it. In the post for Evans. Evans out near the corner, now backing down on Sisk into the key. Puts it up, couldn't get the shot to go. Holden with the rebound. Evans is down. Evans will get back up, and now Latour steals it away. And now Moriarty's got Evans down the floor, and Evans couldn't get the shot to go. And we get a whistle on the rebound. Landek is down on the baseline. He's all right, though. Landek commits the foul there, and so he's whistled for his third foul, and that is the 7th team foul on SPU. So it's going to send the Wildcats to the free throw line with the opportunity here to move back into the lead. But it's a 1-and-1. Kevin Holden's got to make the first one in order to have a second one coming up here. But Holden, an excellent free throw shooter for the Wildcats, and gets the first to go. Ties the game at 58. 4:12 to play. Holden with 9 points. And he's done a lot for the Wildcats on the day, especially on the defensive end. He's gotten his hands on a lot of balls, come up with some steals, and he gets 2 free throws here. He now has 10 points in the game, and the Wildcats hold the lead, 59-58. Evans kicks it to Knapp for another 3, and that one off the mark, and the ball loose and picked up by Garrett Anderson. As Knapp had that one halfway down, but it kicked off the rim and out. And now here is Holden driving the lane, kicks it back out to Maverick Sanders. Anderson with it now. Going to work on Latour. Anderson gets around and puts it up, and that one rolls in. And the Wildcats now with a 3-point lead, 3:30 to go. Anderson with 20 points in the game for the Wildcats. A lot of time left here, but the Falcons now down 3, needing to respond. Landak couldn't get the shot to go. Evans is there for the putback, and Evans puts it up and in. And Trace Evans, they just put 11 on the board for him, but I believe he actually now has 13, as they missed a bucket for him earlier. Landek thought that it was SPU's ball, but they call it Central's ball here. And we will get this will be the last timeout, the last media timeout here with 3:01 left on the clock. The Wildcats up by a point, 61-60. And we got 3 minutes to determine first place in the GNAC. A lot of things can change between now and the end of the season. But we will take another time out here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just .3:01 to play here from Royal Brown Pavilion. Wildcats by a point. And it was Maverick Sanders leading the charge for them in the first half, and Garrett Anderson has taken over here in the second half. He's got 20 points in the ballgame now. A couple of threes in recent moments. Now Sanders with the ball with Knapp on him. And Sanders backing down on Knapp. Knox Knapp was trying to take the charge there. Sanders put a shoulder into him, but they don't call a foul on that. And Sanders puts the shot in and gets the Wildcats back out to a 3-point lead, 63-60. Here's Landeck taking a shot from the free throw line, and he puts that one in. And Landeck now with 15 points in the ball game. And the Falcons back within 1, I should say. Wildcats still with the lead. And Kevin Holden coming across midcourt, going around Landeck, kicks it out to Sanders. And Sanders will get it to Anderson. Anderson finds Swilly. Swilly in between defenders, kicks it back out to Sanders. 5 on the shot clock. Sanders over Knapp, and that one off the mark. And able to get the rebound is Anderson. He'll kick it back out to Holden. And now back to Anderson in the left corner. Wildcats maintain possession. This one stays with the Wildcats as it goes out of bounds. 13 on the shot clock. And a minute 53 left on the game clock. And a timeout called, I believe, by Central here. Or this may be an official's timeout, as they may be, they are looking at something on the monitor here. And it could be just who last touched that basketball when it went out of bounds, because we're inside the final 2 minutes of the game. And if anything is like this is questionable, they're going to take a look at it on the monitor. Wildcats by a point with a minute 53 to go. And the call there was that it's Central's ball. And they are taking a look on the monitor to see if that is, in fact, the case, if it was last touched by SPU. Good ball game here, and both of these teams gunning for Central Washington is in first, but SPU is gunning for first here in the conference and trying to win their 8th straight. But the Wildcats with the lead at the moment. And Brandon Renta intense there in the huddle. Renta in his 7th year as the head coach of the Wildcats. And gets Jordan Clark back into the game here. Coming in for Sisk. And it is Central's ball. 13 on the shot clock. And Swilly will inbound to Clark. Now Holden with the ball. Landeck on him, and now they switch. And here is Sanders getting to the bucket and puts it up and in. Coleman out there on the floor for SPU, and Sanders got around Coleman. Landeck with possession now, minute 35 to go. Falcons down 3. And every possession getting more and more critical here. And the Falcons need to make smart decisions with the basketball. Here's Landeck. And he will spin into the lane, gets around Swilly, lays it up, couldn't get the shot to go, but a foul called on Swilly. And so that will send Mason Landeck to the free throw line with a minute 19 to go. Big free throws coming up here, as Landeck today from the line is 3 out of 4. Gets the first one to go. That gets the Falcons to within 2. On the season, Mason Landeck is 76% from the stripe. And another big free throw coming up here. Minute 19 to play. Landeck knocks down both free throws. 65-64. Wildcats by a point with possession. Here's Kevin Holden with the ball. And he's in no hurry here. Wildcats with a slim lead, but they hold the lead here within the last now almost minute. Didn't quite get down to a minute, and Brandon Renta calls a timeout from the bench. They do have the timeouts left, and yeah, the last one was not called by Central. It was an official's timeout, This one is called by Central, and now each team has one timeout remaining, according to the scoreboard. 65-64, Central with the lead and possession, and they hold the upper hand at the moment. Falcons need a stop after this timeout here, and if they can get one, they will have an opportunity to go back and take the lead. 1:01 on the clock, 61 seconds. Falcons shooting now 44% for the game, and the Wildcats 42%. Wildcats have had a couple of threes from Garrett Anderson, still at just 3 out of 12 on the day from three-point land, and the Falcons now 7 out of 16 from deep. Each team has gotten to the free throw line 15 times now. The Wildcats have hit 12, Falcons have hit 11 free throws. Tight ball game here. And it will be Wildcats possession. They actually reset the game clock to 103. And Jordan Clark dribbling with now under 10 on the shot clock. Gets it to Anderson. And Anderson driving, and Coleman with the block. And the Falcons thought they had it back, and Kefri Fazio, I think, is asking for a review. I think that's... Yeah, Jonas Latour is asking for one as well. He thought that the Falcons had it. They give the ball to Central Washington, 1 on the shot clock. They're not going to take a look at it on the monitor. No, maybe they are. No, they're not. Clark will inbound, 1 on the shot clock. Anderson with the step back, couldn't get it to go. The rebound pinballs around, and Kevin Holden ends up with it. 43 seconds left. Wildcats will hold as the shot clock reset to 20 there on the offensive rebound. And so time ticking away here. And now Holden gets it to Anderson. Anderson drives, puts it up, off the glass and in. And Garrett Anderson gives the Wildcats a 3-point lead with 28.6 left on the clock. Big shot after big shot by Garrett Anderson here in the second half. And he's now got 22 for the ball game, and the Wildcats lead by 3. 28.6 left. And now, if you're the Falcons, you got to decide here whether you want to go for a quick 2 and then a foul, or if you're playing for a 3-point shot to tie it. The shot clock is off, so potentially this could get deep into the game clock. The Falcons want to hold for the last shot, but I don't know that they'll do that down by 3. As I think they're going to take the first good opportunity that comes their way, whether it be from 2 or 3-point range. Falcons still with a good opportunity, maybe not a good opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless to steal this one. Really, they had the lead by as many as 9. They led 50-41. And the Wildcats, since then, have gotten back, not just gotten back into it, but they have taken the lead. The Falcons now down by 3. And Kefri Fazio drawing up a play. It was actually the Wildcats that took the timeout, so the Falcons have one left still. The Wildcats are out of timeouts. And it's the Falcons with possession. As Knapp will get it into Moriarty, and now Landek is fouled at midcourt by Kevin Holden. And that's just the 5th team foul on the Wildcats and just the 3rd foul on Holden. But kind of an interesting decision there. Now Latour will inbound to Landek. And now Knapp will go to work. Knapp gets around Jordan Clark, gets to the bucket, lays it up and in. 16 seconds left. Timeout called by Kefri Fazio. Falcons down 1. 16 left on the game clock. Central Washington will have possession after the timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. Jackson Knapp went to the bucket there. And he now has 18 points in the ball game for SPU and 9 rebounds as well. and he is leading the Falcons in scoring. Garrett Anderson leading the Wildcats in scoring with 22. Maverick Sanders has 20. 16.4. They put 4/10 back on the clock. And the Wildcats back out on the floor. Sanders, Holden, Swilly, Clark, and Anderson. And the Falcons bring in Sandberg here. Coleman, Moriarty, Landek, and Knapp on the floor at the moment. And probably has a lot to do with the fact that Jonas Latour has 4 fouls. They don't want him to foul out. This one knocked out of bounds by Coleman. And the Wildcats will keep it. Only 3/10 came off there. 16.1 as the PA announcer Mark Uckett calling for crowd noise. And the Wildcats now get it in. And we get a quick foul. Jordan Clark. Not the one you want to send to the free throw line, but he had the ball. Owen Moriarty picks up his second foul. And now Jonas Latour will get back in for Sandberg. Kefri Fazio having a quick conversation with some of his players as now they get down to the free throw line here, along the lane, I should say. Jordan Clark, pretty much automatic for the Wildcats on the season, 94%. And this one rims around and falls in. And Clark gives the Wildcats a 2-point lead. A little bit of a sigh of relief on his face there after that one goes in. Latour will head back down the floor as SPU will either be down 2 or 3. And this one misses from Clark. And the Falcons are down just 2. 11 seconds to play. Falcons have a chance for the last shot of the ball game. 6 seconds to go. Here's Landek. Landek's going to pull up from 3, and that one's off the mark. And it's out of bounds. It's to the Falcons. They want to take a look, and Grant Coleman was signaling for them to take a look on the monitor to see how much time to put on the clock. It was lost out of bounds there by Swilly. Falcons are going to have another opportunity here with not a lot of time left on the clock. Calvin Sisk will check in for Central. They will take a look at the clock. Right now it shows 0.5. And they may put a little bit of time back on. Falcons will have the ball on their offensive end of the court. And they're not going to have a lot of time, however much time it is, if they do put some time back on. But Falcons will have time to get the ball in bounds and get a shot up. I was hoping that we might see Brian Caldera out there today, but this game has been too close the whole way for him to get his first action of the season. If the score was, the game had been decided by the final minutes, then Kefri Fazio might have gotten him in. But this one down to the wire. Falcons are going to have possession, and right now 0.5 on the clock. And they're taking a look to see if they're going to keep it there or add some time back. As the ball went out of bounds on the baseline, the official's going to get together and talk it over. They're going to add 0.6, so 1.1 left on the clock. Still not a lot of time here for the Falcons to get a shot up. Doesn't have to be a 3. They can get the ball going to the bucket and play for overtime, or they can take a 3. Landek will inbound. Sisk is on him, and Sisk is a foot taller than Landek and has long arms to boot. So Landek got to be able to see over him. Landek gets it into Coleman. Coleman's going to shoot for 3, and that one's off the mark. He was too strong on that shot. Central walks off with a win, 68-66. Kevin Holden with the chest bump for his coach, Brandon Renta, and the Wildcats survive the Falcons here this afternoon at Royal Brougham, and they snap the Falcons' 7-game win streak. Great ball game here this afternoon on the Falcons Senior Day, and they dropped their final home game of the season to the Central Washington Wildcats. This one could have gone either way, and both of these teams getting together to shake hands. Big win for the Wildcats as they stay in first in the GNAC. They go to 11-3 in conference play, and they still have not lost 2 in a row since the opening weekend of the season when they lost their first 2 games. Falcons get together in midcourt. They gave it a great effort today, but they came up just short. And Coleman hit the game-winning 3 a week ago, but that time had a little too much on it, and it sailed over the rim. Falcons lose this one by 2, 68-66. Falcons are now 10-5 in conference play, and Northwest Nazarene later at Montana State Billings will have an opportunity to move back past SPU into second. Montana State Billings is going to have something to say about that, as it's possible that SPU could be in second or in third by the end of the night in the conference, but still playing for one of the top seeds in the GNAC tournament. It's going to be tough for them to overtake Central Washington now. Central Washington's going to have to lose multiple games the last couple of weeks of the season, and that is pretty unlikely to happen, but you never know. 68-66 the final here. We got women's basketball coming up, and they are scheduled for a 4:15 tip. That one will probably get started a little late, and we'll see when that one does start. But let's kind of give you a recap here. Again, Senior Day for the Falcons. They come up short by 2 points. The Wildcats end up shooting 42% for the game. The Falcons end up shooting 44%. But some big shots for the Wildcats late in the ball game. The rebounding battle went to the Falcons 34-33. And the Falcons missed their at least their final 4 3-point shots. They were 7 out of 14. They finished 7 out of 18. And so unable to hit a big 3 toward the end. Landak was the last, Coleman was the last one to have an opportunity. The Falcons had the lead with 4:13 to go. That was the last time they led in the ball game. And then the Wildcats had the lead for the final 4 minutes. But not by much. It was close all the way down to the wire. Falcons turn it over 12 times in the game. The Wildcats just 8, and 1 of those in the second half. Both teams had 7 turnovers at halftime. And the Wildcats end up with the edge in points off turnovers, 10-5. Kevin Holden had himself a great ball game. As we take a look at his final line, he played 33 minutes, was just 2 out of 9 from the floor, 1 out of 3 from 3-point range, went 5 out of 6 at the free throw line, had 4 steals. That really is the number that stands out for Kevin Holden this afternoon. 10 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds as well. But the 4 steals, he was able to make a difference on the defensive end of the floor. Garrett Anderson finishes with 22 points and 3 rebounds and had some big shots in the second half, a couple of big threes. Maverick Sanders with 20 points and 8 rebounds. He had all 8 of those rebounds in the first half. He did not record a rebound in the second half. Bradley Swilly, 9 points and 2 rebounds off the bench for Central. Falcons get 4 players in double figures. Jackson Knapp, 18 points, 10 rebounds, finishes with a double-double. 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists for Mason Landak. He was 5 out of 6 from the free throw line. Missed a big 3 in the final seconds. And they get 13 from Trace Evans in his final home game, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Good ball game for Trace. Owen Moriarty, 11 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. Not a lot other than those 4 players, though. Latour with just 2, and Henry Sandberg chips in 5 off the bench. Coleman doesn't score. Kinlock only played 5 minutes in this game. Coleman played 17 and was 0 for 3 from the floor, had 3 rebounds and a block shot and a steal. But Falcons come up just short in this one, 68-66. We will have women's basketball coming your way here in a little bit. It's looking like about a 4:20 tip-off for the women's game, as Falcons welcome back their old assistant coach, Randy Richardson Thornley. We will have that game for you coming up. That'll be a different link on YouTube. We'll go off air for a little bit here and come back with the women's game. The men's game goes down to the wire, but Central Washington with the win, 68-66. Have a good rest of your weekend.